What's up everybody, Bowtie Sofly coming at you for a special video today. We're going to be taking a look at some tips for how to improve your Borderlands experience. Now the purpose of this video is to help people who are either new to the series or who haven't gotten the chance to play through this that much to discover some features that are going to be very important for you to get the most out of your experience. So, there will be some very minor spoilers potentially in this, nothing related to the story or character development, but things that you'll see at some point during your playthrough. So again, this is designed to give you some tips on how to really maximize your play experience and not miss out on anything that may not have been very well explained. Alright, one of the first things you'll note is that this machine right here is very similar to what you see at the beginning of the game. This is a quick change station and it has in it a lot of things that you're going to be using. The ability to customize your character's head, their skin, their palette, all that fun stuff is located in this quick change machine. However, something you likely didn't pay much attention to at the beginning is this feature down here, which is the respec feature. Respec allows you to pay a certain amount of money, depending on how far along you are and how many skills you've invested in, and it allows you to reset your entire skill tree, meaning that if you screwed up and built your character wrong, or you decided to rebuild around something else, you could pay to be able to reset that and respec your character the way that you want. Now, speaking of abilities, something that's new to Borderlands 3 that we didn't see a lot of in previous Borderlands is the fact that you get not only multiple skills, such as the Phase Cast, the Phase Grasp, and Phase Slam for the Siren, but you also have the ability to mod temporarily your action abilities. So for instance, if I wanted to make my action skill corrosive, I could use Blight Tiger. So now my action skill would be corrosive. However, unlike your other skills, which once you put points into them or select them, you're bound to that choice unless you respec, these allow you to, at any time, wind up removing these skills. So for instance, I could unequip this skill and go back to my base element. So this allows you to really build around the weapons you find or around your own particular playstyle. Maybe you want to leap into the air and fire an elemental beam, or maybe you want a row of fists to erupt, or maybe you just want the basic phase slam. All of those are available to you once you get to that particular level of the tree, and you can choose to equip a couple of these different choices. But again, what you choose is up to you, and it allows you to really personalize your character and your abilities a lot more than in previous entries. Now, one feature that's definitely not made very clear, but is important to know about because it's very helpful, is the function of the bank in this game. In previous Borderlands games, your banks only stored items for a particular character. So every item I put in the bank for my Siren character would only be available to that character. There would be a special stash available where I could store usually up to 4 items that I could then transfer between characters. However, Borderlands 3 has changed this formula up. By going to your room, which is located right here near the fast travel station on Sanctuary, you'll notice that there is a big safe. This safe functions as not only your bank for your items, but also how you go about storing items to transfer between characters. So, rather than being limited to the 4 items from previous games, you instead can store a large number of items. As you can see here, I have a bank with 35 slots in it, so I could transfer up to 35 items between my characters. Now, this will be very useful, especially if you find a lot of legendary items, as it will allow you to pass them along to your other characters or save them for later in case you start a new character or know someone who will need them, making the grinding process a lot less necessary and making it a lot easier to outfit your characters the way you'd like. It can especially be good for some of those anointed weapons that you might find. Speaking of those anointed weapons, here's an example of one specifically for the Siren. Anointed weapons are weapons that have special properties that are usually tied to a particular class, but can be used in some cases regardless of the type of character. So this weapon, the Turbo Frozen Kill-O-Matic, is specifically for the Siren. In this case, the special ability, because it's anointed, means that after using the Phase Slam action skill, weapon damage from this weapon is increased by 300% for a short period of time. That means that after you Phase Slam, this thing deals ridiculous amounts of damage very quickly. Now, unlike previous games where, yes, certain weapons would fit very well with a particular character's build or layout, these weapons allow you to build around them, meaning that, again, the customization is a lot deeper than in previous entries in the series. Not only that, because there are different abilities for each of the different classes, that means you can find different weapons that will be good for one ability versus another. Now, these anointed weapons can potentially be dropped by certain enemies as well as in certain modes. However, one of the easiest ways to get them is from the Veteran Rewards vending machine located near Crazy Earl. So as you can see, this has a bunch of random items that reset about every 20 minutes that can be used by different characters. If it just says anointed, that means it can be used by pretty much anyone, so regardless who it is. After the action skill is over for that character, weapon damage with this weapon is increased by 100% for a short period of time. So you'll notice some of these, again, are specifically for a particular character, such as the anointed siren shield there. And in other cases, they're a little bit more open-ended. Now, the one thing to note about this vending machine is that it takes iridium. Yes, iridium is back from the previous installments in the series, and it is a form of currency. So it's going to be used primarily for different unlockables, such as the weapon skins that you get from Crazy Earl over here, as well as those anointed weapons from that machine. And there's one other function, I won't spoil for you, that will allow you to help in crafting or creating weapons. But again, iridium, very important and something you'll be looking to farm from very early on. Speaking of those weapon skins, some people might be wondering how they're able to apply the skins that they've gotten, whether it's the ones from Crazy Earl or even from doing things like pre-ordering the game. Well, in order to apply a weapon skin, you have to actually click the button that allows you to inspect the weapon, and then you'll notice down in the bottom right there is something that says Change Weapon Skin. From there, you can go ahead and equip whichever weapon skin you have that you want to apply to that particular weapon. So, especially if you got the Butt Dazzle from Butt Stallion, or the gold weapon skin starting out, that is where you can go to apply those. Speaking of those special unlockables, such as the pre-order bonuses, as well as things that are sent to you in-game, one thing many people don't know is how to claim the rewards that they have, whether it's their golden keys, their pre-order bonuses, or some characters or some businesses will wind up sending you weapons and items from time to time. You'll see a little thing appear on the middle to top left of your screen, which will say, for instance, Moxie sent you a message, or Jacobs sent you a piece of mail. In order to retrieve that mail, you'll need to go under the Social tab, and you'll scroll past your friends, your matchmaking, as well as your shift codes, which that's where you can go for the shift codes. And you'll go to the mail column all the way to the right. This is where you can pick up your grenade package, your VIP stuff, as well as the different things that people send to you. I know I got about 25 or 30 levels into the game before I wound up finding out where this was at, and in the process, missed out on a lot of different items. So go into your social tab to check for a lot of different things. Again, from shift codes, which again can help you in getting those golden keys, to important and helpful pieces of equipment. One other neat use of the social feature is the ability to directly send people items. Many of you are likely familiar with having to trade between players. However, now, if you notice towards the bottom right of the screen, we're given the option to directly send mail to people that we know. We can choose a particular gun that we have. So, for instance, I might choose, I don't know, maybe this Siren's Mark. And I can send that to anyone that's in my friends list. And whether or not they're online, that will be sent to them, and they'll get a notification that they have received something. So that's a great way to send your friends nice little gifts or items that they may have wanted or that you picked up when you thought of them. And it's a feature that really helps to expand on the otherwise previously limited social features of the game. Now, I know when I mentioned Iridium a minute ago, some of you Borderlands faithful, those of you who have played the previous games, might have thought, that's how I can unlock my SDUs, or storage deck upgrades. SDUs allow you to carry more different types of ammo, as well as allow you to expand your bank and your backpack, allowing you to ultimately hold on to more. And in a game about loot and billions of guns, the more you can hold, the better. Well, unlike in previous games where you had to pay Iridium, at least in the last 2 games, to expand your different ability to carry more ammo or have more slots in your backpack and bank, instead now you can buy, with regular in-game cash, these SDUs directly from Marcus. If you go to Marcus's section on the ship, Marcus Munitions, you'll notice there is a table here, and on this table is the ability to purchase storage deck upgrades directly. Now, they start out relatively cheap at around $1,000 a piece, but will ultimately get up to, as you can see here, very expensive, with my next upgrade for the backpack being $719,000. So I'll be collecting for, or $729,000, excuse me. I have $719, so who knows, maybe I'll get it soon. But that will be how you'll be able to carry more and more, and I would highly recommend making sure you upgrade those quickly. One quick note, while mostly these will be reset from character to character, your bank will actually stay the same. So if you want the ability to store more items between characters early on in the game, you should invest in the bank SDU. The last of our tips deal with the actual planet-side experience itself. For those of you who have played Borderlands previously, you are likely familiar with traversing Pandora and everything that it has to offer. In the process, you did, chances are, a lot of walking as well as a lot of backtracking. Luckily, Borderlands 3 has tried to eliminate some of this time spent backtracking and running from place to place. For instance, let's say that I was going to run through here to Varkid Valley on Pandora, and I was going to collect some ammo here, but I can't because I'm full, and fight some creatures. So I fight. Now, in previous Borderlands games, I would have to run all the way back to my car. However, in this instance, in Borderlands 3, you can actually fast travel to vehicles and locations that you've been to. So anywhere with a fast travel station, you can, from anywhere, fast travel to. So for instance, I could go directly to this fast travel station, or I could get right back into my car, immediately escaping that group of enemies and getting back ready to drive once more. So that saves a lot of time in terms of exploration and backtracking, and especially since you have to fill out the map manually in this game, that makes it a lot easier to do. Finally, one last important note. There are certain map-related items that were not in previous Borderlands games that you want to make sure you take the time to get. These items include what's listed under your challenges, from dead claptraps to legendary hunts to Typhon logs. There's also marked targets for Zero, Crimson Radio, and then finally, when you unlock all the Typhon logs, you get a dead drop. Now, these will be unlocked by running over certain parts of your map. So for instance, when you get close enough to this Typhon log right here, what it will do is it will show up on your screen, and then when you go to it, you'll be able to collect it, and it will go from turning green to gray. That'll let you know that you've collected it. So, I would highly recommend collecting these, as they allow you to get experience as well as get free Iridium. And early on, when you want to get those anointed guns and really good weapons and shields from Earl, that can be very helpful in allowing you to collect Iridium very quickly. Plus, it allows you to gain some levels to start fighting even tougher and tougher enemies. So, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you found the tips listed here helpful. If there is anything else that you'd like me to cover, something that you feel the game doesn't explain well, or something you feel that I would be able to help you out with, let me know in the comments section, and maybe I'll make another video previewing more of the things in Borderlands. But for now, if you liked this video, be sure to drop a like on it, and also subscribe to the channel for more content, Borderlands and otherwise. For now, this is Bowtie So Fly saying happy hunting, and stay fly.